Hello everyone and welcome to another case on my channel. In this video I am going to be covering the case of Mary Boyle, which is Ireland's very own Madeline McCann case. Although originally born in Birmingham, Mary and her family lived in Kincastle, County Donegal. The year was 1977. Mary was 6 years old and it was St. Patrick's Day weekend. Mary, her twin sister Anne, her brother Patrick, and their parents travelled to Ballyshannon to visit their grandparents' house, which was in a remote and boggy townland. While there, the adults sat inside and had lunch, while the kids and their cousins all played outside. Mary, dressed in trousers and a long cardigan, her long hair tied back with a ribbon, came into the house and gave her mother a hug and a kiss. "Mum, I forgot to kiss you this morning," she said. Mary's uncle, Jerry Gallagher, only lived down the road from Mary's grandparents' house, and he was working on the roof of his house at the time when he decided to go across the bog to return a ladder to his neighbour's house. They only lived about 400 yards away. Jerry said that he was halfway across the bog when he turned around and saw that Mary was following him. This was around 3:45 p.m. She walked behind her uncle towards the Corley's house, and when she reached a water-filled patch, her Uncle Jerry had told her to turn back because she couldn't cross it. She was last seen by her Uncle Jerry eating a packet of Tayto crisps, so the return trek to her grandparents' farmhouse should have taken no more than 5 minutes. In the meantime, Mr. Gallagher chatted to his neighbours and then returned home at 4:30 p.m. When Mary's mother went outside to check on the children, she couldn't see Mary anywhere. Her mother got into a frantic state and started spraying holy water everywhere around the house, screaming Mary's name. By this stage, the uncle was back. He sped off up the road, going up and down trying to find her, but to no luck. Gardaí family and neighbours all scoured the surrounding 450-yard stretch between the only two houses in the area, in a search that escalated over the following weeks into a trawl of bog holes, lakes, streams, and the countryside. The Gardaí started a search around the surrounding area and drained a lake that was behind her grandparents' house. They also filmed a reconstruction of the disappearance in which Anne Boyle was used as a stand-in for her twin sister. Britain's worst child killer was loose in Donegal over a 2-year period before and after Mary went missing. This was the man who had bundled little girls into his van, tied them up, gagged and stripped them, and zipped them into a sleeping bag. Gardaí know now that he was in Northern Ireland on the day that Mary went missing, and Ballyshannon is only a stone's throw away. The child killer, known as Black, claimed to have killed at least 19 girls over the continent. Who is to say that he refrained from killing children when he visited Ireland? He was in Belfast the day that another child, Jennifer Cardy, disappeared in County Antrim. Her body was found a week later in a lay-by. Her killer was never caught. Even more sickening was that of a conversation that happened in a bar in Dunglow. Black was there, drinking away and chatting to some young girls. One of the girls innocently referred to the Mary Boyle case, which had happened a year prior, and Black asked the girls if they would show him where Mary's house was. "I want to see where her twin sister lives," he said. When they declined, he became enraged and agitated. He was very insistent about them showing him the house, but he has never mentioned Mary Boyle in any of his interviews. According to Mrs. Boyle, there was a car that had been seen on the road on the day that Mary went missing, but that person had never come forward. On the day that Mary went missing, there were 3 poachers illegally fishing with an otter board, which is a piece of timber with hooks hanging off of it. These guys would have eyes on the back of their heads because they'd be constantly on the lookout for Gardaí, but they never saw anything that day. It was very unlikely that Black was there. These poachers would have seen his van, but what about the crisp bag? She would have thrown it on the ground, And even with wind, somebody surely would have seen it. It would have taken a long time to disappear. But that, again, was never found. Police searches have also taken place since 1977, with the latest taking place in 2016, when An Garda Síochána launched a new investigation. However, still to this day, no evidence has been found. In 2018, relatives and supporters held a silent protest outside the coroner's office in Stranorlar. This protest was intended to force the coroner to hold an inquest into Boyle's death, which would allow key witnesses to be interviewed on public record for the first time. Boyle's twin sister Anne was among the group, which handed in the petition that had more than 10,000 signatures demanding that an inquest be held. Mary's twin sister and other relatives claim that they believe they know what happened to Mary and who is responsible for Mary's disappearance. This has caused tension and division within the Boyle family, with Mary and Anne's mother publicly demolishing her in 2016, calling her public appeals the most ridiculous carry-on I have ever seen in my life. Over the intervening years, the performer Margot O'Donnell, a friend of and relation to the family, has funded searches on the surrounding hillside in an effort to try and relocate Mary's body. Now, it had been alleged that a politician had intervened in the case and had insisted that the prime suspect not be arrested. Margot has said herself that she knows that this phone call took place, she knows it happened. She said, "I know this for a fact." And if that phone call hadn't been made, the guards that had been working the case at the time said to me 5 or 6 years ago, we could be talking a very different talk now. The man who is believed to be responsible has never been arrested and still lives in Donegal to this day. Joseph Craig, who is a cousin of Mary's, has also said that Gardaí have destroyed evidence on the case. For example, in 2017, Ralph Vance and Liam McGuinness told the Sunday World that they had actually found a cardigan when they were out searching for Mary, but that the Gardaí had never actually spoken to them about it. In the Sunday World, there was a quote, "There was a development a couple of years ago. Somebody contacted us to say that he and his friend found a cardigan on the search. They were told, if you find anything, stand still and shout for a Gardaí." And that's what they did. The Gardaí came over and took away what they say was a purple cardigan. There is no record of it, though. The Sunday World did their own investigation, and they found a farmer who had said that he had seen a shallow grave, even though shallow graves would be common enough in the farming community. But he said that he was sure that he had seen hair. He said he had spoken to the Gardaí, but that too wasn't on Gardaí record. The Sunday World even got a scanning company to scan the fields. They found anomalies which theoretically could be anything, but still there were anomalies. They were getting ready for a private forensic dig when 2 guards arrived unannounced, one in a JCB-type digger, and they ripped up the whole field. To quote, "If you're looking for a 6-year-old's body, which at that point would be missing 35 years, it's like an archaeological dig. You are looking for bone fragments. So if there was anything to be found in that field, they destroyed it." To date, this is the longest missing child's case in the Republic of Ireland.